Welcome to day two of 30 days of Photoshop with me, Kevin Aronson from the Hampshire School of Photography. And in this session, we're going to be looking at the working environment of Photoshop, moving things around, playing with the screen and the tabs and the panels and so on, and just making for a better working environment so that it's easier for you. Let's not waste any more time and go straight on in. So here we are back in Photoshop, and we're looking at a picture that was taken at a recent Flash workshop. This lovely lady is one of the students who was posing in front of one of the soft boxes in the studio prior to the model arriving. So we were just kind of getting the exposure and the positioning sorted out. She was standing in for the model. Behind her is another student who's photo bombing. Thought it was an interesting, funny image. Looking at this picture, it's quite small in the middle of the screen, but if I look down on the left here, I can see that it's at 100%. So that little figure down there will tell you the size of your image. It tells me that this is quite a small image, and I can see this because here I've got 2000 pixels by 133 by 72 pixels per inch. So this particular image is a small one because 72 pixels per inch tells me that it's been rendered ready for the internet. That's the international standard of images on the internet, 72 pixels per inch. I don't have to have that information displayed. I've got a whole range of things I can pick from, but it's the one I prefer, and I can't see any reason to change it. It's very helpful. But it does mean that this is a small image, and if I want to make it bigger, I have to magnify it. How do we magnify the image? There are lots of ways. One of the most popular ways is the magnifying glass. And if I click on it and move across, you can see the magnifying glass has got a little white middle, and that's actually a minus sign in the middle. If I click on the image, it makes the picture smaller. If I click it again, it goes smaller still, and so on and so on and so on. If I hold down on the Mac the Option key, or on the PC the Alt key, that minus changes to a plus. Can you see that? If I keep pressing it, and now if I click on the image now, it gets bigger. So I can zoom in quite a bit, or take my finger off that button, off the Alt or the Option button. I can now zoom back out. But what if I instantly want to be able to see the whole image? I've just done some work on it. I've just maybe touched up a disfigurement on the face or something. I can, if I want to, kind of zoom in and out until I find it's filled the screen, but then it's a bit fiddly. See, now it's gone off center. So there's a shortcut. On a Mac, hold down the Command key. On a PC, hold down the Control key and hit the number 0. That fills the screen with the image. Wherever you are, no matter how much you've zoomed in, you press Command or Control 0, boom, it goes back to full screen. And you can see here down the bottom left, it's magnified now at 193.85%. So it's very cleverly worked that out for you. What other ways are there of moving in and out? Well, holding down the Control or the Command key, so it's Command on a Mac, Control on a PC, and pressing the plus and minus buttons does the same as clicking with the magnifying glass. You can move out and you can move in, and actually I reckon that's damn sight more usable than the magnifying glass. Why would you ever want to move a magnifying glass when you can do that? You can never be that good at a magnifying glass. But here's the problem: when you've moved in that close, how do you move around the screen? Well, the shortcut to that is a real beauty. With one finger, hold down the space bar, and with the mouse, look what happens to the mouse when you change the space bar. It goes to a hand for grabbing. So with the space bar held down, I can now grab. I'm just moving my mouse, or actually I'm using a Wacom pen and a Wacom tablet, but with a mouse it works. So you grab and drag, grab and drag, grab and drag. Really helpful. Grab and drag, grab and drag. If you let go of it, it just kind of like drifts. Go the other way. Whee! Or if you just hold it and don't let go, it stays with you. Now this will take practice, but believe me, it's something you really do want to know. It will massively speed up your workflow. And speaking of speeding up your workflow, There's even a better tool than Command or Control plus and minus. What if I wanted to zoom in just on that eye? Look at that. What if I wanted to zoom in on that eye? What if I wanted to zoom in on that earring? How do I do this? How am I zooming in where the magnifying glass on the screen is pointing? You need to hold down two keys at the same time. So with one hand I'm holding down both the space bar and on the Mac the Command key. And as soon as I do, I've got this control. I can zoom in and out by dragging my mouse left and right. Left and right I can drag. So I'm dragging left, it goes small, dragging right, it goes big. I can let go and move somewhere else. Drag to the right to zoom in, drag to the left to zoom out. Really exceptionally helpful. Now, I confess at this point I've been a little lax and I haven't researched to see what the equivalent buttons are on a PC. I assume it's Control and Spacebar. So forgive me if it's not. Google it. Should have bought an Apple. Sorry. Gosh, I instantly lost friendship with 1 million people overnight. No, my apologies. It's just me being lazy. So on a Mac, Command and Spacebar, and as I drag to the left, it zooms out. As I drag to the right, it zooms in. Really, really helpful tools. What other helpful tools? Yes. Let's say you want to paint something somewhere. You want to adjust your brush size. So I've just hit B for brush. No other than that, just B. And if I want that brush to paint really small, I want an easy way to make the brush small, and I want another easy way to make it big. And you do that with your square bracket keys. So left bracket makes it smaller, big right bracket makes it larger. To undo what you've done, you press Command Z. Or Control Z on the PC. Now, this is another one of those commands that works on lots of other software. You know, whether you're working in Word or Excel or virtually any other software out there on the face of the planet, Control on a Mac or Command on a PC plus the letter Z is the undo button. So if I press Command Z on my Mac, it undoes the last thing I did. Press it again, undoes the one before that. Press it again, and so on. So forth. So I can just keep undoing until I get rid of the stuff or go back in time to before I made my mistakes. So that's the undo. Okay, let's look at the right hand side here. Let's look at so I'm not going to go through these in any great detail because that's what we're going to do over the next sort of 29 days. But your main tools are down there, and depending on which one's selected, so the controls relative to that tool change. It's very much dependent on which button you clicked on. So here I've got the lasso tool, and they've all changed for the lasso tool. If I click on the clone stamp tool, they change for that. If I click on the magnifying tool, changes for that. So it's context sensitive. Menu bar across the top, which I very rarely ever use because I like all the shortcuts, but please do look through those. There's no point in me going through every single one of these because the 30 days of this tutorial on Photoshop will be all about what's up there. On the other hand, what's over here on the right hand side is far more interesting as far as I'm concerned. This is a series of goodies which I use on a regular basis. I've got adjustments, I've got actions, I've got layers, which are used for every single image I work on. Character is used if you want to type something. Let's change the color of that. Boom, type. So character is all about the font and the spacing and so on. Beneath it is paragraph, and that's all about the formatting of the page. And I don't normally have shapes, that's there by accident. I'm just going to get rid of that. So I can just click and drag and then click on a little box and it's deleted. And I've saved this as my own workspace. It's Kevin's workspace. You can set up your own, and once you've got it set up how you like it, click on new workspace there and you can call it your workspace or whatever you want to call it, and you can have a number of them for different purposes. So you see here essentials, 3D, motion, print, painting, photography, graphic and web. These are the workspaces that come as standard from Photoshop, and some of them just don't apply to photographers and some of them do. Good. Okay. I've got a ruler visible here. Ruler's quite handy because I can click on it and drag it to a part of the screen, and if I want my type or anything else to be lined up absolutely spot on, I can line it up with a ruler. So I can drag it one from the left hand side, and then if I create another piece of type, let's just do another one just for the fun of it. Type, I don't know, HSP, there we go. So now I can line up that with there, or I could line it up there with that. So the rulers are really very useful. Just going to undo that. Boom, 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 boom. Lovely. Okay. If your ruler isn't visible, I think it's in the view menu. Rulers, there we go. Or Command or Control R. Boom. Because I clicked in it now, they disappeared. So I've got to go back and redo it. View, rulers, boom. I tend to leave it on all the time. Okay, we'll leave it there. And oh no, one more thing down here. This thing, look at this. Standard screen mode, full screen mode with menu bar, full screen mode. So normally, let's get rid of that thing. Normally you're looking in what's called the standard mode, this one. But if you click on this, you go to a full screen mode where you get maximum real estate and a lot less clutter on the screen, which I press Command O to make it maximum possible. If I go to the next one, it's full screen mode, and in full screen mode I've got no stuff visible apart from the picture. Now I don't have to click on that button, I just hit the letter F, and the letter F means I can scroll through all three one after the other. So there's the normal one. In fact, there's a normal one. Let's just shrink it down a bit. Press F and we go to full screen, but with the controls. And the last one is full screen without the controls. And don't forget, it's Command or Control 0 to fill the screen. Right. Well, that brings us to the end of number 2 in the series of 30. Tomorrow is number 3, and we move on to some really exciting stuff. Not going to tell you what it is. Okay, so if you're not watching this on a blog and you want to see more of these, do make sure you log on to the blog, which is phototeacher.blog, phototeacher.blog. Check out the Hampshire School of Photography website, which is gohsp.com. HSP is obviously short for Hampshire School of Photography, and you can find us on Facebook by just searching on Hampshire School of Photography. My name is Kevin Aronson. I'll see you tomorrow. Looking forward to it. See ya.